Hello, and welcome back to the Casual Leader Podcast, your weekly dose of real talk for people building real businesses and trying not to lose their sanity along the way. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about a feature inside Change of Plans. We were supposed to release an episode about how to create your own skills for Claude, but as I'm sure you've seen in the last few days, certain things have changed just a little bit. If you watched our episode about 2 weeks ago, how to work with Claude Cowork, you most likely seen how we recommended you to install skills or use skills. Things have changed just a little bit. Now, if you actually want to use different skills for Cowork, it's a little bit harder to install them from the marketplace. Either you create your own ones, or you go through the whole hustle of copy and paste, or you try to download them and then upload them as a zip archive. It's a little bit of a headache. So we actually have a solution, a very quick one. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you're familiar with Claude Cowork and you've been using skills before, or if you actually watched our episode from 2 weeks ago, you would see that the way you actually use skills for Claude Cowork is to go into settings and then capabilities, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to see skills. Now, skills have moved to customize, which is completely fine. We're going to go to customize. But here is where things change. You don't have an option to upload or install from the marketplace skills seamlessly. And the ones that you were able to actually install via your terminal now only work for Claude Code, not for Cowork anymore. They're not transferable. At least this is what I've noticed. And if you look at the structure now, you have plugins, and the plugins from Anthropic have a different structure as well. The skills and connectors are a little bit more separated. So how do you actually go about installing a skill now from skills.sh from the marketplace to actually use it for your Claude Cowork? Well, it's a little bit different. So let's say I want a newsletter curation generation. Let's go with curation, right? Before, I used to just copy the command, open my terminal, paste it in, run it, and I would be able to actually use it for both Claude Code and Cowork. Now that's not true anymore. So what changed? Well, the way skills get installed has clearly and completely changed. And I tried a couple of things. I've tried to go the route of skills plus, and then, I wanted to upload a skill. Well, technically, you could do that from the marketplace. Technically, you could go to the repository, which you can open from here, and then download zip. And from here, actually upload it here. The problem is when you download that zip, it downloads every single skill, which you're going to get a big error here. So let's say if I want to, I have a couple of them here because I tried it a few times. Let's say I have a zip here. It must contain exactly one skill.md file, one markdown skill. And the thing is, you could, in theory, just go through the whole download and see where your skill is. In theory, you could. And if it's a simple enough skill, you can just, drag and drop the skill. So let's say Twitter automation. Okay, I'm going to drag it. This will work because it has one skill.md. See, uploaded file. But the thing is, if you actually want to upload some skills that are a little bit more complicated, that have references, that's not going to work. So what can you actually do? Well, you can create your own, or you can try and copy and paste here from the marketplace. But that's a little bit annoying. And sometimes it's just not going to work. Not at all. So I noticed that then, okay, if skills are a little bit more connected now with plugins, what if there is a way to install a plugin that has the skills that I want? Logical, right? Maybe. So I tried. I went to browse plugins and I went to personal. I saw that the marketing skills that I used in the previous video to do the marketing audit for thecasualleader.com actually are still there. So I was like, okay, we have options here. We can add the marketplace from GitHub or by URL or just upload it. Well, I'm not interested in uploading one. I just wanted to use the ones that are from the marketplace. So I said, okay, add marketplace from GitHub. Cool. So then I went to the skills that I wanted, and considering that it wants the owner slash repo, you can see the URL structure here. I said, okay, easy peasy. I can go here, copy, I will paste, and I will sync, and I will see if I can get the skills that I want. And lo and behold, nope, it failed to add. Okay, cool. Let's say maybe I can add it a different way by adding a Git repository URL ending in .git. That should work, right? That should work. We have it already opened here. I can copy it from here. It has the extension .git. Perfect. Can paste, sync. You think it might work. Actually, it didn't. So there are a few things. Here. And we're going to cover why all of these are failing and how to create the skill in the next episode when we're going to talk about how to create a skill, because that's the whole thing why we couldn't release it today. Things changed, and that's completely fine. We're here to adapt, learn, and adjust. But in the meantime, we still need to be able to install skills for Claude Cowork to work. So what else can we do? Well, what I've noticed is that if I go to skills.sh again, some of the skills from the marketplace work and some of them that didn't. So for example, if I do the same thing with superpowers, because why not? Everyone wants superpowers. And I do the exact same thing. I go to repository, I take the owner slash repo, and I add marketplace from GitHub, paste. Guess what? It worked. It actually added the whole thing with the skills that I wanted. So if I install it, you're going to see all the skills that are in there, agents and hooks. And if we're going to look at the plugins, the structure, it's very similar to Anthropics. So all the ones that Anthropic has a very, very specific structure, and the ones that work actually have a very specific structure as well. I'm assuming you kind of like start to guess where I'm going. But the thing is, a lot of the skills that you have on the marketplace don't have those structures for Claude Cowork to automatically be able to either install the plugin or to upload the skill. So what can you do in the meantime? Well, the reality is we have a temporary solution. So me with my team from alpine.io, the other company that I'm actually co-founder at, full disclosure, we came up with a temporary solution. We came up with a plugin marketplace, which is basically a curation of skills from skills.sh. So we're giving full credit to skills.sh for everything that they hosted and they've done, and to everyone that is actually putting the effort to create those skills and to maintain the marketplace, a really amazing and helpful place. Well, then we took kind of 4,000 plus skills that we saw that they have more than 1,000 downloads and in usage. And we created it's almost like a middleware slash helper. You basically can install it in a very simple way. You go through the same steps that we went before to create a plugin. So you open your app, you go to customize, which you have two ways of doing it, either through settings and then capabilities, or you can just go straight from the left-hand side where it says customize. Then you add a plus, browse plugin, and from here, you go personal, plus, you select add marketplace from GitHub. And here is where you're going to copy our GitHub owner slash repo. And we're going to paste the line where it says URL and sync. Now, because it contains about over 4,000 skills, it's going to take a little while for it to completely load. So please give it a little bit of patience and leeway for it to do its thing. And from here, you're going to be able to install the bigger skill packages. I know it's not ideal because before we were able to install like 1 or 2 skills out of like a bigger repo. Now it's a little bit different. So you're just going to have to install the whole thing. If it has 100 skills, it's going to be 100 skills that your cowork will have access to. So as you can see, under Alpine Marketplace, you have all of the skills, all of them from skills.sh. Again, this is a temporary solution up until either everyone updates their skills on skills.sh on the marketplace, or Claude gives us a different option of installing skills, a friendlier one. So basically from here, what you want to do is you're going to go, let's say, to skills.sh again. Let's try the newsletter one, the one that we tried to install and it didn't work, the newsletter curation. So this one, what I would say is from GitHub, go and actually copy the owner. And we're going to go here, find, so Command F or whatever you're using to find. And then you're going to see it right here. It's the same one. If you're not 100% sure, just click on it and then search for newsletter curation. And you're going to see it's the exact same owner that has all these skills, which also contains the skill that we were trying to install and it didn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and install it. It says it's installed and ready to use. Amazing. I can uninstall or just manage it. And now you can see it here. In your plugin list at the end, you can see it here and you can see all the skills that it comes with. So you can edit, enable, whatever you want, copy skill, try and chat, whatever you want to do with it. Now let's say I want to start the task. I will say use newsletter curation to help me find the latest AI and tech news letters. Go. So now I actually have access to that skill. Now, because I installed it, because we were able to use it, now my task is going to be completed with a skill and a better way of executing things. This is just one example, but you can use it for so many things. You can use it to create a content calendar, content strategy. You can use it for so many things. And sometimes you're going to get some questions. So I will say yes. Just now tell me in the chat. Easier. So as you can see, it already uses the skill. And this is just an example, like I mentioned. There's so many things that you can actually do. And if you want to install any other skills, and maybe you're browsing the marketplace and you're not sure what skill works to be installed and what doesn't, then it's very simple. You're just going to try and get, let's say, find skills, right? I will take Vercel Labs as the name. I'll go back to Claude and I'll go to customize. I will go to plugins, browse plugins, personal, Alpine Marketplace, and I will search for Vercel Labs. Found it. And as you can see, it has find skills, the skill that we were looking for, install, and then just start using it as you would normally with a task. So you see, now it's just a way of using skills, installing them, using them in an easier way. You don't have to copy and paste. You don't have to download. You don't have to check to see if it's actually going to work or not, if it has the same format and steps for Claude Cowork to install it in the new way and new format. There's none of that. You can just simply install the plugin marketplace helper. It's the little helper. Look, this is completely temporary. We're giving credit to everyone that has been working really hard on skills and the skills marketplace. This is just for a quick and easy way for people to install skills with Cowork. I really hope this helped and it was interesting and useful, but I'm curious to see if you actually managed to install skills in the last few days or you actually had the same problem that we did. Because I talked to a few people and no one was happy about it. But, just let me know in the comments below. That's it for today. If this episode was useful, maybe share with someone else that's struggling right now using Claude Cowork with skills. I'm sure they'll thank you for it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and hit that notification bell. We have tons of interesting episodes coming up. And don't forget to join our community on thecasualleader.com. Until next time, keep being you authentically, lead clearly, build smarter, and remember, everything starts with you. Start casual, keep going, keep growing. See you next week. Bye.